That's the question.
We have to see, folks. Composition-wise, it's quite equal, but let's see. I want to see the live comments going crazy as well. Who do you root for?
Let's go. Hashtag AuraFire. Hashtag Viva RRQ as we get ready to jump in onto the draft. Ladies and gentlemen, the decider for RRQ. Is it going to be a clean sweep revenge for RRQ, or will Aura perhaps have a say in this series, taking it to the third game?
That definitely is going to be the question. I mean, even in terms of composition, I feel like RRQ Hoshi outdrafted AuraFire here, Donnie.
Well, it seems like draft-wise, it's tough. Right, because I feel like the hero pool's forward side of RRQ in completion is far less than RRQ. So RRQ has more ground to play around with. Whereas RRQ, we know Godiva hasn't really found success in many heroes, as well as perhaps Fluffy. So we'll have to see here as Town's prediction. Wow.
Yeah,
heavily shifts.
The only one who stayed on the Aura side.
Very different to game number 1 where it was a split. So I guess the casters are in agreement for the most part that RRQ Hoshi has the better draft this time around. There is going to be a little bit of flexibility from Aura because of the Amon pick. He is going to have a lot of damage in that early game, whereas from the side of RRQ Hoshi, they need a little bit more time, especially for Yi, right? He needs the Ice Queen 1 to deal that utility, but Albert just renders that useless.
And the shard though, coming in with Albert, Godiva flickers in, finding a trade. A good trade for Aura, as that's a trade for the jungler compared to the mid lane. Fluffy, whoa, holding on to the way the dragon for a bit longer there, but Finn is going to be able to flicker out. R7 now doesn't have the Demonic Force just yet. If he had the Demonic Force, it would have been over.
Wow.
The flame shot connects, but it's not enough to take Fluffy down.
It seems like RRQ Hoshi, they are trying to somehow play the early game with Paquito, with Killing Spree, mind you. But RRQ, a very good rotation from High earlier, managed to somehow negate the pressure there. Was a roamer for jungler, so favoring RRQ by a lot.
Let's see, coming into the second, well, the first turtle of the game. RRQ or AuraFire? In terms of setup, I do believe that AuraFire have the upper hand.
That might be the case. You can see that AuraFire are already setting up, but Albert here, it is going to be the Retribution battle once again, and who is it going to favor?
Let's see, going in again, Fluffy, able to zone away the other members, goes in for the Jikundo. Albert used his second ability already. Demonic Force popped in, real world inflation as well, zoning High away as Vin comes in with damage as well, and the shards as well, but Albert is going to be the one getting the Retribution. Neonon Blast popped in, Godiva able to bounce away, Fluffy using a Shanpu to get out of range as R7 keeps on going with a Demonic Force, will finally stop. RRQ this time secured a neutral objective. Vin goes in for the stun onto Facesucker, who's not going to be able to get anywhere. Albert finishes him off. Skylar looking for the kill onto Godiva. A double kill for Clay. RRQ, 1,000 gold lead.
And what could they expect? I mean, they have the composition to be as aggressive as that, and realizing that they win in those lane trades, right? But when it comes down to the emblems, any significance or anything that pops to you?
Seems like Vin, he wants everything. Every talent here has a point. He wants cooldown reduction, he wants physical defense as well, and, well, not movement speed. He just wants everything here.
Skylar though, jumps in with the Blazing Duet. Kabuki looking for the snipes again. Good clear by Skylar, but Endless Shards with the help of the snipe takes Skylar down. Aura 2 to 3, looking to equalize on the scoreboard, but Clay is there to help Finn's escape.
I'm actually curious about the items right now. We are reaching minute number 4, and I want to know if Kabuki's actually reached that power spike. And if that is the case, he is going to win in that lane, and perhaps they can actually work on that, because Fluffy is losing heavily in that top side.
Oh,
what? What?
Good steal
Flame
by
shot.
R7 with
Flame
the flame
shot.
shot. He's able to steal it away, and it's getting from bad to worse for AuraFire. They can't really look for anything too aggressive. Their only way, I guess, right now to really get a grasp on the game is if they use the killing pressure that the Beatrix has.
Right now, RRQ Hoshi 800 gold lead, but that can be turned around. But the problem is now, we can see that R7 already with the Clock of Destiny, and he's going to keep scaling in towards that late game. So when it reaches that late game point, I do believe that RRQ Hoshi have he better trade.
Indeed. And it feels like RRQ Hoshi, again, they are ahead in rotations. And it shows because they have more fast clearing hero. Oh, Godiva almost get taken down. But in all, RQ's composition, they have a very strong wave clear that, apart from that Proteus, that helps them just rotate as quickly as possible. And Aura of Fire, they are seem to move in a rather responsive way, reactive way.
Yeah, and Albert again is able to pick up the Retribution onto the Turtle. He's going to go in onto Fluffy, who tried to go for a cheeky steal with the way the Dragon knockout strike twice onto Godiva. Godiva going to be caught in the real world inflation, instantly taken down. Killing spree for Clay on his signature pick. RRQ right now dominant.
They have to be careful about tunnel visioning though, because you can see that the lane has already been pushed in that bottom side, and because they were prioritizing that turtle, R7 was not there in the lane, and Cho, Fluffy, was able to get amount of damage onto that turret. And with the setup that Aura Fire usually goes for, they do still have the ability to go in for that backdoor strat.
One item each for the gold laner, Claude securing that DHS, and Hunter Strike for Beatrix. It seems like it's quite equal in that department, but Hunter Strike already for Albert. That's deadly.
Godiva too deep. He gets caught out again. Massive, massive mistake once again. He's trying to open up the map, and this just gives so much pressure back to RRQ. Gonna go for the turret now. The turret that Aura took in the bottom side, that little advantage that they got will not be for long, but Aura, very good response into the mid lane, into the enemy purple buff as well. RRQ not letting that happen though, is able to clear out the mid wave to get that control back in their own jungle.
They're trying to trade, they're trying to do what they can, so we can feel a mirror movement setup coming in from Aura Fire, right? They can't go in for that 5v5, and so they opt to take those side lanes, and that's exactly what Fluffy has been doing. If you notice, every time they go for a team fight, Fluffy doesn't rotate there. He goes in for those side lanes, tries to put pressure on those side lanes, and slowly but surely trying to stay even with RRQ Hoshi, who is now leading with 1000k.
And to add to that, I feel like Scholar really respects the crowd control potential from Ruby and Cho. Oh, but never mind.
Good G Kundo there, but it's on towards the tank, not Clay. Real world relation popped in. Numenon Blast as well. Vin has the flicker, and he gets two! Kabuki and Facehugger melted down by the likes of Albert and Skylar. Facehugger still able to run, but with Kabuki down, that's another neutral objective for RRQ. Oh my goodness, Vin.
The timing, and he is so precise there with that Numenon Blast. And take a look at that. The Purify was used as well, as I mentioned earlier. Somehow really respecting the potential from that Wave Dragon, and as well as the way that I'm offended. And RRQ or Hoshi, they are establishing a healthy amount of gold lead.
They are. They're grabbing all the gold that they can. Like, you guys can grab food at home with the voucher code down below. But now, a concealed play by RRQ Hoshi. Kabuki needs to be very careful. But luckily, he was still able to get out of that in time, as well as put pressure in that top side, deal a little bit more damage to those side lanes. And Hai is trying to do the same. See, this is exactly what Aura Fire is doing. They don't want to go in. They know RRQ Hoshi are great with those team fights, and they looked for plan B.
Have to wait and see here, folks, as RRQ Hoshi. I feel like what they need to do now is just force a fight here against Aura Fire. Sure, it's a gamble, but I feel with their equipments, they are capable to win 5v5. But then again, Aura Fire, they need to avoid fights because they need to farm first.
Yeah, they need to avoid fights. They need to look for a trade at least on the other side of the map. They need to clear in the mid lane. Well, technically, they need to do a lot of things at this point, right? And RRQ, they have that firm grasp onto the game. Aura Fire, they can rely on one thing. If it all fails, Kabuki is still scaling like a monster, despite the death that he recently just got in the team fight.
He's rotating like a monster already here, Miracle. He managed to get that tower in the top side, but that's something that RRQ Hoshi can actually exploit.
Whoa, R7 using a demonic force very wisely to dodge away from the endless shards. Aura are able to push that bottom side wave, but RRQ with the mid lane turret taken down will have more pressure again. It all comes down to map control when you have the Lolita and the Paquito, right? these guys are going to be able to dictate the games and the engages coming in. Aura Fire will have to be very creative with the way they open up the map and how they go for those pickoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Aura Fire, it seems like they are really somehow difficult. It's difficult for them to somehow find a good, effective fight. And if they really want to go for the split push, it's hard because RRQ's composition, they have mobility as well. We'll see now.
Let's see. War Axe built up by Albert. He will do better in the prolonged team fights now with that, as that's going to be actually Wave Dragon popped in onto Vim with the Endless Shard as well. That's the Roamer, though. I don't think that's a good engage. RRQ collapsed. They punish the mistake. Aura Fire. What? They go in onto the Roamer. All of the abilities were placed onto the Roamer. Kabuki all alone with his 100% win rate on the Beatrix. He's going to go for the Bennett now. He's trying to clear the waves as RRQ trying to look for the close. Albert, however, does not want to go for that close. He knows the strength of that Beatrix. He will just go to secure the Lord solo. Lord Slain presented to you by the Samsung Galaxy A series. Aura need to fix this fast. They keep on prioritizing the wrong targets.
Insanity. Time and time again, Aura Fire, they keep making the same mistakes. I guess their plan is to find a pickoff on the board, but they also have to be aware of the whereabouts of the other members, because if the response is quick like this, it's not going to work out for them here, Gani.
It seems like replay-wise, yeah, very questionable targeting there from the side of Aura Fire. With the knowledge that the Lord is up, they opted to go all in on a Roamer in the mid side. That's not wise. Lord push now. What can they achieve?
It all lies on Kabuki. RRQ trying to siege down the mid lane turret with the first Lord. They're going to go for the tier 2 up top as well, taking it down with the help of Albert. And in the bottom side, it's R7 and Skylar picking up an objective. All tier 2s taken out. RRQ with the disciplined playstyle now. They won't go commit. They won't go for any crazy commitments so far. They're just going to wait and see. Wait for the next Lord, or perhaps wait for Aura Fire to force something in this desperate spot.
They need to stay disciplined. Honestly, they need to stay disciplined because Aura Fire has been put in this position before, perhaps against Evos last time around, and they have to be aware when they go in for the team fights of the whereabouts of Kabuki. Don't force a team fight where Kabuki is not there, because there is a high possibility that he might be the one trying to look for the same thing like he did before, that straight push behind backdoor strat. RRQ still has to remain vigilant, stay cautious as well.
One thing I do want to point out is also Facehugger on this Julian. Seems like his impact isn't nowhere near on the conventional mages that he used to play with. Item-wise, Amon here, almost full items. Winner's Truncheon is there, so perhaps a bait might come from this guy. But Golden Staff, I mean Claude, already almost full items here still. Steel leg plates, perhaps next can be Immortal, perhaps, if he really wants to. He sells the steel leg plates, but overall, damage-wise, Claude can just melt anyone from the side of Aura Fire. And actually, Paquito opted to build a War Axe and Bloodlust Axe, so semi-fighter, semi-assassin here is what Albert's going for.
Is Aura Fire slow pushing that bottom lane?
Yeah, I mean, that top side is slow pushing for RRQ, and for Aura, they are trying to build up that push in the bottom side too. Hai is just protecting that in case, RRQ, they're going to have to send someone to deal with the slow push. So he's already there looking for an assassination. Yeah, this is one of the tactics that Aura can use, the wave manipulation that can lead up to a kill. And right now, look, Albert is down below. Amon is looking for it, but I don't think he wins out in the 1v1. So Amon High is just going to go to the next push. But with this, oh, this is a good flank. Clay. High and Clay comes in. Now Fluffy tries to buy some time as that's going to be High looking. No, he missed Clay. He goes in for it. The Lord. He gets the retribution. No, it's even Clay. It's Clay who gets it. Oh my God. He walked past Clay and Clay gets the Lord. It's a disaster for Aura. Oh my goodness gracious. Godiva now gonna get caught. Albert with a knockout strike as Vin stuns him down. High tunnel vision on the Lord. Clay picks it up and they're looking for the end right now. 3 members down. Clay there going to go finishing off the turret as Skylar jumps in with a blazing duet. Kabuki He is the savior that can go for the defense, but Skylar jumps in with weird nature. Kabuki able to shot the damage onto Finn. Good defense for now. No minions for RRQ. High respawning with Fluffy. They can defend, but RRQ might actually be able to force another fight. It's very risky. Will they go for it? High early invisible. Kabuki dealing with the Lord. That's going to Fluffy taken down. RRQ looking for the close right now. Kabuki's able to dodge for now. Real world relation popped into the back lines. Albert losing the immortality. Buys the winner's truncheon. Buys the time. Kabuki with the Bruce Passion comes in with damage again. Doesn't have the flicker. One minion, one cannon is all that's left.
Oh my
Kabuki
God.
going for the blaze. It will not happen. The miraculous victory. Aura Fire gets wiped out. RRQ destroy Aura 2-0.
Dominant display of gameplay by RRQ Hoshi. So clean. 2-0 against the number 2 in the standings. This means that RRQ Hoshi